If you were to ask me in the beginning of 2020, hey strikers, can you name me 3 athletes that are sponsored by Adidas? I'll be like, no problem, Messi, Dybala, and Bill. Easy money. And then you ask me, alright, name me 3 players that are sponsored by Nike then. And I'll be like, Ronaldo, Mbappe, Neymar, done. And then you were to tell me, well actually Neymar, he's no longer going to be sponsored by Nike. I will tell you, what are you talking about, man? Like, come on, like, how? Like, you know, he's literally the face of Nike other than Ronaldo. He was in the forefront of the Nike PSG Jordan collaboration. And even back in the old days, you know, the glory days when we had the Hypervenoms, he was in every Hypervenom commercial. There's no way that he would, you know, leave Nike, right? And you know, 2020, it never ceases to surprise us. Did another shocker around August when he transferred over to Puma. Now this is a big deal because most of you might think, okay, you know, it's pretty self-explanatory. He switched over because of the money. But number one, he's been with Nike since he was 13 years old. Yes, they spotted him out when he was a child prodigy and they're like, you know what, you're gonna be under Nike and you know, you're gonna go big. They knew it from the beginning. And number two, he's not the only one that went over to Puma. Like for an example, Griezmann, Lukaku, and Aguero all switched over to Puma. So there's clearly something going on. And number three, Nike's a pretty big company. I'm pretty sure they have enough money to pay more than their other competitors to keep certain players signed. So clearly, it's not just about money. So you clicked this video for a reason, you want to know, and your boy once again has done some research to simplify it for you to explain why Neymar switched to Puma. Right off the bat, let's just address the elephant in the room. Money. And you know, some people have the argument that okay, yes, you know, this is coming from a guy that made the huge transition, the record-breaking deal switch between Barcelona all the way to PSG. So to understand this a little bit better, let's look at the original Nike contract. So like I said in the beginning of the video, he's been sponsored by Nike since he was 13 years old. And the latest contract that he had was an 11-year contract that he signed in 2011 that was supposedly worth about $105 million. And it was supposed to end in 2022. And you know, it's not 2022, so clearly he ended the contract 2 years early. It was reported that both Nike and Neymar decided to terminate the contract early after failing to agree on the financial terms of renewal. Details were not disclosed on the contract renewal, but clearly it wasn't good enough for Neymar and he knew that he could get more, and the only reason why he would switch over to Puma is simply because of that reason, and to which he did. In the Puma contract, it stated that it's going to be a long-term partnership that includes off-field apparel. So essentially not only cleats and football shorts and jerseys and everything, it's also going to include just casual wear, Puma shirts, Puma sweatshirts, you name it. And it is actually reported that the switch to Puma came with a term of a $31 million per year deal, which is more than what Messi and Ronaldo gets paid. So why did Nike give up Neymar, a really valuable investment that is clearly seen by Puma? Well, apparently Nike is trying to change their strategy to go beyond individuals. So they're going to switch up their mainstream strategy of sponsoring a specific player, but rather focusing on key clubs and cities. They're going to move away from the player at the center strategy, except for specific players in the sports world like LeBron James, Cristiano Ronaldo. Basically, no one's going to get a single sponsorship except if it's going to be like the GOAT of that sport. And Nike is essentially experimenting to see if they can just sponsor a specific city and sponsor clubs and see if that will be good enough, or if not even more effective than specifically just sponsoring a single player. Could explain why Nike just did not want to pitch up, because clearly they're like, okay, I'm not willing to pay for this much, and at the same time we want to try a different method, and so I guess that's why they parted their ways. Going over to Puma's viewpoint, they're now switching to a more aggressive strategy. Now, like, let's face it, Puma has never been at the same level of Adidas and Nike. It's not to say that they're not a great brand. Of course, they are a great brand, especially back then. You know, Pele, Maradona, rest in peace, and many greats were sponsored by Puma. But now, currently, it's pretty obvious that, you know, the big guys are Nike and Adidas, and that's why Puma wants to have a more aggressive strategy in acquiring more players such as like Griezmann, Lukaku, and now Neymar. In just under 2 years, they managed to put their name on Manchester City, AC Milan, Valencia, and PSV. And in terms of players, Puma is trying to aim for athletes that have a very active social role. Like if you see people like Neymar and Griezmann, they're pretty active on social media, they're always around. The more active they are, the more likely people are going to be seeing the brand. And as a matter of fact, their next target is Raheem Sterling. So if Raheem gets into the Puma contract, you heard it here first. So Neymar at the age of 28 is actually the 4th highest paid athlete in the world according to Forbes, and he earns about $25 million from other endorsement deals like Red Bull, Beats, MasterCard, and he's also been sponsored by companies like DAZN, Electronic Arts, Gillette, and TCL. And in 2020, Neymar's net worth rose up to $95 million, which is a lot, but it's considerably less than, of course, Ronaldo and Messi. Now, I want to ask you guys one last thing. Did Neymar transferring over to Puma make you more likely to buy something from Puma, or is it just about the same? You're loyal to the same brand, or you've always been loyal to Puma, always been loyal to Nike or Adidas? Let me know in the comments down below. And so yeah, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and until next time guys, peace.